And finally, welcome back to Sundays in the Garden. If you're new here, this probably isn't the video for you because I'm just going to catch up my long-term followers on where I have been over the last few months, or last month really, and why I haven't been making videos and what I'm hoping to do in the coming months. So I haven't made a video, I think, since maybe the end of October or early November, and that's been because we've been away. And there's also lots of other things going on at the moment. So let me fill you in on what I've been up to. First of all, we went away to the Lake District. So that was 2 weekends where I normally post my videos and do things in the garden, where we were away having a wonderful time in Keswick. And it was really, really lovely to have that family time. Number two, we're gearing up to Christmas now, and I've got 2 little boys, and we're trying to make it as magical as possible because they are at those ages where they are really getting into the Christmas spirit. So we want to make it as beautiful as possible for them. So we're focusing a lot of time on them. Also, I home educate my 2 little boys, so we are often out of classes and we're at home learning and we're all over the place really. So trying to make it really magical for them and busy all the time at this time of year means that time making videos has had to take a bit of a back seat. Also, I teach London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art qualifications, and I teach those in the evenings after my husband finishes work. And my students are busy taking their exams at this time of year, so I've got lots of students taking exams, and that is taking a lot of my time. And on top of that, I'm also a LAMDA, London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts examiner, and I travel around the country examining the qualifications that I teach as well at this time of year in particular. At the end of every school term, things get really busy, and I am often not here to do things or to make videos. So apologies for not having made any videos. I think things are still going to be a bit quiet for another few weeks, and then hopefully as we get nearer to Christmas, I can share some more things with you. But today I'm just going to talk you through some things that have been going on in the garden since I last made a video and what's changed since I last caught up with you all. Okay, first thing is just before we went to the Lake District, the dahlias were still looking amazing and I had some beautiful cut dahlias in the kitchen on the windowsill as we left. But when we came back, there had been snow and frost, and so they were completely black and looked very, very sorry for themselves. So I've been digging those up, and they're here at the moment just kind of upside down so the water can drain from the stem. But I think I'm going to give them a proper wash before I pack them into sawdust in the garage. So that is what is happening with the dahlias. They're partway through their packing away process, but they're nice and safe and dry in here for the time being. Here in the Brussels sprouts bed, you can see that the damage done by the butterflies and caterpillars was quite substantial, but there are still sprouts growing on here. Some of them are teeny, and I don't know if they're going to get much bigger. The plant down here that I had the most hope for is fattening up nicely, and I actually enjoyed my first Brussels sprout from these today. So I'll insert the footage of that now. That is the best Brussels sprout I have ever eaten. It was so yummy, and hopefully I'll be able to eat some of these on Christmas Day with my family because they're looking pretty good so far. On the other side here, we have the spring cabbages now in. They aren't spaced how I want them to be spaced yet, but I've put them in because they need somewhere to go. And then once the sprouts come out in a few weeks, I'll hopefully be able to space these out a bit further apart so they'll take over this whole bed. But they're in, and the cabbages that were in here have come out, and we've been enjoying those, and I had some of that with my dinner today. It was delicious. Down here in the onion and garlic bed, all the onions are peeking out to say hello, and the garlic is also doing the same down here. You can just see little bits of it sticking out through the surface. Some of them, I think, when they were attacked by the dug up by the pigeons and things, I might have spaced them back in the wrong places, so I might have to try and respace some of these out because there's a big gap here and then 3 really close together. So once I can see definitely where everything's coming up, I might have to rejig things and hopefully not lose any, but that's all looking okay. Thank you to AD who told me about the fork that I'd left under here last time. So that's now out, and the broccoli is doing okay and surviving. It did have a mishap because a structure that was over to the left of it fell on here during Storm Bert and squashed some things, but they're doing okay so far, I think. And then over on this side, this is the bed where I put my broad beans, and they've been quite quiet since I put them in, but I have just noticed actually today that there are some starting to poke through down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can just see them starting to poke through in various spots. What about on this side? Anyone here? Here's someone, look, just there. Here and here. So that's great to see. But now I'm going to be, as I was last year, mindful of when we get really hard frosts and try and fleece these to protect them so they don't get completely blackened and killed off in the frost. But they are pretty frost hardy, so fingers crossed for those. I've also got these little lettuces growing in the greenhouse at the moment. I'm just picking some leaves off as and when I want some lettuce, which is great. And they're keeping us going in kind of salad greens over this colder period. Having said all that, it hasn't actually been that cold over the last month or so. So it is December today, 1st of December, but it doesn't really feel like December. It's really quite warm. We went out to our annual town light switch on last night and we barely needed coats or hats. So it has been very mild, quite wet. And we had that cold snap just over a week ago, which did kill off the nasturtiums under the bean arch and the dahlias. But generally speaking, it's been quite mild. So I'm out in the garden without a coat or hat on, and it's really nice to be out here. So I think the jobs for the rest of the afternoon will be to rake up some leaves and spread them over the beds. I like to put some leaves over the tulip area as a mulch, over the hellebore section. They'll be all covered beautifully. And anywhere else I can find to just scatter the leaves so that they can be made the best use of, because we have so many beautiful leaves in the garden. I still have a really exciting project coming in the next few weeks, but as I said, lots going on here, so it might be a few weeks before I can share it with you. We've got a long way with it already. We were missing something that we needed for it, which has now arrived, and we have got to a stage where we can nearly finish the project now. So fingers crossed, before Christmas I can share it with you and you can see what we've been doing at the back of the garden. It's really exciting and I can't wait to share it all with you. Until I can next post a video, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful December and build up to Christmas with your friends and family, and hopefully see you before the Christmas period to share some exciting new news at the back of the garden.